500-watt motor, up to 60 miles on a single charge, and capable of up to 28 miles per hour on the pedal assist mode, introducing the Turboant Ranger R1 bicycle. Today, we're going to review it.
Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy campers.
After losing a combined weight of more than 200 pounds.
We realized we had so much more energy for activities.
Come along with us as we explore the great outdoors.
And join us on a brand new adventure.
So we are here at Curry Hammock State Park down in the Florida Keys for the second time since May.
We love it.
We absolutely love coming down to the Keys. This park is definitely our favorite unless we can get a waterfront site at Beyonda.
Yes.
But I love this park because it's so quiet.
And as we were heading out the door for this trip, we got some mail.
Yes, so we had Turboant, which we've done reviews of their scooters before, buggy down here. I'm going to leave a review for the scooters up here over my head, but they've got an electric bicycle. It's a brand new model. And they reached out to us and said, would you guys consider reviewing it for us?
Sure.
So we said, absolutely. So I've got it right down here behind me. Rachel is going to go preview or premiere one of our videos for our keto channel, which if you didn't know, we each lost over 100 pounds on keto. A link for that channel right over here. And I'm going to unbox and put together this bicycle. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to get up. We're going to take this bike out and we're going to take Rachel's folding bike, go on a nice bike ride through Marathon. Okay, so we got a box of parts here. And then it looks like the bicycle is pretty much assembled. I don't know, let's pull it out of the box and see how it goes. Okay, looks like it is mostly assembled. Got to put on the front handlebars, front tire. Let's go ahead and cut all of these wire ties. So we got the disc on this side, the brakes are on this side of the fork, so we're gonna go ahead and put it on just like this. We got the front tire partially on. We have to loosen the brake caliper in order to slide the disc up into the caliper. So they gave us a bunch of tools. We're gonna take this one Allen key, just kind of loosen this caliper up a little bit. That should allow us to loosen it up, and then we can push the tire on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the quick release rod, we're going to take it apart, we're going to come in from the other side, push it through, and then grab it on the other side. Go ahead and tighten that down. Then we're going to go ahead and put our handlebar on up here. So this piece will go right here, and then the bracket will go on the other side, and then we can tighten it down and adjust it. Next up we have the fender, and this one's pretty self-explanatory. There's a bolt right here which we're going to take off. Grab that before we lose it. Put this on here, and we're just going to temporarily put that on because I have a feeling that holds your light. And then we have one of these here and one over here, and there's a couple of screws right here that are going to go on, and these are Allen's. It is hot out here. It's very humid today. So the last thing we have is the light. The light is going to get mounted right up here. That's why we didn't tighten that bolt all the way. We're going to go ahead and pull that bolt out and just simply push it through the light and then back onto the fender. And there's a wire here from the light, and then this set of wires right here. Here's the other end, so we can just go ahead and connect it. Now lastly, we have the pedals. Pretty self-explanatory, put them on. One go on on this side. They do give you a wrench here to put these on easier. One thing is important to note, that one side is reverse, the right side is reverse threaded. So the last thing to do is go ahead and tighten the brake. Now you may need a pair of pliers for this. Go ahead and tighten it up this way. So obviously it's gotten a little dark out. It's about 7 o'clock at night. So we're not going to go for a ride tonight. We're going to go ahead and charge this thing overnight and then take a nice bike ride through Marathon tomorrow. So there's a set of keys over on the other side. We'll take those into the rig. And then there's a charging port right here. We got it plugged in. We're going to go ahead and plug it in right there. Check it out in the morning. Okay, so the bicycle is all assembled. I took care of everything last night. Very easy installation. I'd say on average it's going to take you 20 to 30 minutes. I did it without instructions and I was trying to film it all. So, you know, moving the camera back and forth. All you really have to do is put on the front tire, put on the handlebars, tighten the brake, and attach the pedals. So it's super, super simple to put together.
So easy, even Rachel can do it.
Now, I'm going to say it is very, very light, especially if you take off the battery. If you have like some kind of a bike carrier, definitely going to work well with your RV. When Turboant contacted us, I was a little hesitant because I'm like, it doesn't fold. But this thing is lighter than even our old Trek bicycles.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take it for a ride.
So let's talk about the Turboant Ranger R1. We've both ridden it, but you rode it more than I did. So first of all, I want to hear what you think about the bike.
I'm actually very impressed with this bicycle. Now, I want to start off with saying this. Turboant did reach out to us and they sent us this bicycle completely for free for the purpose of this review. However, they don't have any say in how we're doing the video, what we're going to talk about, what our thoughts of it, and they have no input in how we produce the video.
Right.
So with that being said, they reached out to us and they were like, do you want to review it? And when I first looked at it, I was honestly like, it looks really interesting, but I don't know how much it's going to apply to an RVer because it doesn't fold. And I think a lot of RVers are going to want a folding bicycle. However, after riding it, it's very comfortable, and I did not realize how light this bicycle was.
That's what I really liked about it, because I think that it is portable enough, and we have had different types of hangers for carrying a bike, and we haven't always had a collapsible bike.
Right.
So this is much easier to get on one of those hooks, if you have one of those bike hooks, than our old bikes were, because it is so light.
Yeah, I would say this bicycle is absolutely lighter than our old Trek bicycles, which is one of the reasons we wanted to switch over to a folding bicycle. You know, folding bicycles are nice, they can fit into the trunk, but our experience with the folding bicycle is they're very heavy. I think Rachel's bicycle comes in at close to 80 pounds.
Yeah.
So the Turboant Ranger R1 weighs 51 pounds with the battery, but when you take that battery off, you lose a significant amount of weight. So even though it doesn't fold, if you have one of those bicycle carrying racks on your car or on your rig, this may actually be the better option.
Because the best bike is going to be the bike that you take with you and actually use.
Right.
So everything that makes it easier to make a bike portable, that's what you want, and the lightweight really helps.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about using it, because that's the other thing that I found with the Ranger R1, the ease of use.
Yeah.
So we do have another folding bicycle from another company, and that one can be a little tricky to get going. Like, it takes some instruction to teach somebody how to use it. You have to get it on, you have to turn the power on, then you have to set the right lever, and then you have to tell it to do this. The Ranger R1, it's got a very simple display, or it's not even a display, it's just some LEDs. You power it on, and then it's got low, medium, and high. And honestly, I never went over low except for when I wanted to test the speed. It's got some good power, but it's literally just pedal and go. On the other side, there's a little button if you want to use throttle only and not have to do any pedal assist. Press that button in, and then turn the throttle, and you get going. There's no complicated setup with it.
I like that about it too. It reminded me of a Kodak Easy Share camera. I always liked that type of easy to use display. I want to get right at riding my bike. I don't want to have to take, you know, like 4 YouTube videos and a tutorial to be able to use it. So I thought it was very easy to understand and use because they had kept it simple.
And, you know, along with easy, so was the assembly. It did come about 90% assembled. I mean, all we had to do was add the handlebars, screw on the pedals, and then attach the front wheel, which is removable. So if you're going someplace and you want to lock it up, you can take off that tire and lock it to the back fork. Now let's talk about power, because it does have a 500-watt motor. And I was wondering if that was going to be enough. I'm a little bit bigger guy at just under 200 pounds. And I was wondering if you're going to go over a bridge or have to go uphill, will that 500-watt motor have enough power to get me going? And I was really impressed with the amount of power it gave you.
Yeah, you definitely kept up with me. No problem at all. I didn't feel like the bike was straining, and it was when it was my turn to ride it, I felt like I kept up with you. So the speed was really good.
The speed was actually very impressive. So I actually kept it with pedal assist on the low setting, and it gave me a nice comfortable workout, but not like overly strenuous, because again, we were biking for about 18 miles round trip. When I put it up to medium, you have to turn that Shimano all the way up to number 7, because you will not be able to keep up with it. It gave some good power to it. I never even tried it on the high pedal assist because I felt like I was definitely not going to be able to keep up with it.
Right.
Now, I did actually engage the throttle only, and that was a lot of fun, especially the last couple of miles of our trip. And again, I really like the way you're able to engage it. There's a little button, you just press that red button in, and then all you have to do is turn the throttle. But it's like a safety mechanism, which our other bicycle does not have. So if you don't want to deal with that throttle assist, if you're afraid you're gonna turn it and get yourself going faster than you want, all you gotta do is press that little button, and it completely stops with the throttle assist, and you don't have to worry about accidentally engaging it.
That was very important to me because, yeah, I want to be able to go faster and slow down very quickly and always feel like I'm in control of my bike. So I love that.
Now, braking. Very impressed with the disc brakes that are on there. In the past, we've always looked at bicycles and we only ever wanted to have hydraulic disc brakes, but the cable disc brakes on these work really well. And honestly, especially for camping, you might be better off with them. And I'm actually really impressed in considering that with other bicycles we may look at in the future, because they're much easier to adjust on the road. Hydraulic brakes can be a little bit more difficult to adjust, and with the disc brakes, all you gotta do is loosen up the one Allen key, pull it down, and it's nice and tight again.
Yeah, you don't have to carry a toolbox in your backpack.
Yeah. Now, battery life. Again, another place where we are super impressed. They say it's got a range of up to 60 miles. Now, again, that's gonna be based on perfect conditions, no wind, what kind of condition is the road in, how are your tires inflated, how much do you weigh. But I will say this, there's no gauge that tells you the percentage of the battery. There's just the LEDs of like, a quarter, half, full. And we rode 18 miles, and that thing is still marked on full.
Right.
So again, we don't know exactly how long the battery is going to go with me and my riding conditions, but I'm pretty impressed with they were able to go 18 miles and it's not even on the halfway mark
Yeah,
yet.
so I think that definitely if you want to push it closer to that, 50, 60 miles, you probably could get it in a full charge.
You're definitely going to get at least 40 miles in because, again, at my size, and we were battling the winds down here in the Keys, we were going up and over bridges, and it did not struggle with any of that kind of stuff.
No.
You want to talk about a couple of pros and cons of the Turboant Ranger R1. As much as I love this bicycle, I do have a couple of small cons, but let's hit some of the pros first. Like we said already, the ease of assembly and the ease of use, that is right up there on top. The fact that anybody can jump on this bicycle and get going without a whole lot of instruction on it.
That is important for me because I'm not super handy. I just want to be able to get it out of the box and get started right away without having to pull you into this.
Yeah. Another pro is going to be the brakes, which when I first looked at it, I'm like, oh, cable brakes. We've always looked for, having an electric bicycle or even a regular bicycle where I wanted hydraulic brakes. But there's something about having the cable disc brakes, and that is the fact that they're much easier to adjust on the road.
Yes, you don't have to keep a toolbox with you.
Yeah, all you need is that little Allen key and you can pull it. So that is definitely a pro, and it brakes very well. No problem with it. When you speak of braking, the other thing that I really like about it is the integrated brake light in the back. So the fact that you have a headlight on the front, we do have a tail light on the back. They are tied into the main battery system, so you don't have to worry about extra batteries or anything like that. And also you can turn everything on and off from the little control pad. But I love the fact that when you squeeze the brakes, your brake light comes on, and that does warn people, especially at night. So It's nice having that integrated thing. I know a lot of the electric bicycles that we have looked at in the past, they didn't have that, or they had a light back there, but it was on its own battery. It wasn't integrated to the braking system.
Well, and we do a lot of early morning rides, so I just want to make sure that everybody sees me.
Yeah. Again, very impressed with the amount of power it has. The shifting, no problem. Actually, it shifts better than even our old expensive truck bicycles. Just the way the whole shifting mechanism works, there was never any jumping, any kind of problems or issues with, changing speeds when I wasn't using throttle assist. Now let's get into the cons.
Can I begin with my con for just about every single bike, and that is the bike seat. This bike seat is pretty brutal, but I will say, as much as that is a con for me, it's a con on every bike for me. So I tend to change out my bike seat first thing. So I'm not gonna crush on it too hard.
Yeah. It's really a preference when it comes to bike seats. You talk to some people, we have some friends who do 100-mile bicycle rides, and you're like, if your butt is hurting on the seat, then you're not sitting right.
Right.
But we're just average people who are out for a good time and not doing these long rides. So yeah, we tend to always upgrade a seat anyway. So it's
More
a little
cushion.
bit of a con, but again, it's a subjective con.
Yeah.
Another subjective con for me, as much as it makes it easy to use, the control panel, I would prefer for myself to have a display that's going to tell you what is the percentage of battery, not just like 4 little LED lights.
Same here, and I know that there's not much I can do with 68% like battery life. Like, what if I'm on a ride, there's not really anything you can do with it. It's either you're full or empty is the information I'm trying to glean. And it does do that on the control panel. But I do like to know how many miles I'm going and what is the percentage of battery left.
Yeah. Along with that, same thing, I like the ones where it actually tells me like how fast I'm going. But again, it's a little thing. This is a much cheaper bicycle than a lot of the other electric bicycles that we were looking at. And it's got actually more power than some of the ones we were seeing. So it's a trade-off. It makes it very easy, but if I was gonna do it over, I would love to have some kind of a display that's gonna tell me how fast I'm going and maybe how far I've gone. Other than that, I don't need a whole lot of, gimmicks and stuff when it comes to the control panel, like being able to manually adjust speeds and things like that. The only other con that I would say is, And again, this is a subjective thing. It doesn't have any shocks built into it.
Right, so you are feeling a lot of the bumps. And again, if you're somebody like us who's out for a leisure ride, it's, yeah, a little bit of a bump going on back there.
Yeah, but again, the ones that do have shocks built into them tend to be a lot more money.
Right.
But again, these are all super nitpicky kind of cons because I'm really impressed with the construction.
Same here.
I'm impressed with the weight. I'm impressed with the power. There's not really many bad things. I had to nitpick to even find those things. Well, that is going to be our review of the Turboant Ranger R1 bicycle. Thank you very much to Turboant for sending us this one for review. We will definitely be using it a lot here on our camping channel, as well as on our keto channel.
Definitely.
Let us know down in the comment section, do you have an electric bicycle? Have you been thinking about getting an electric bicycle? If you have been and you haven't pulled the trigger, what is kind of getting you to not do it? Because I can tell you, when we first thought about it, a lot of people were saying things like, you're not going to get a workout, but you get a workout on an electric bicycle.
You definitely can, and I like the fact that we can go farther and see and explore more, because you do have in the back part of your mind, even if I get worn out, I can still get home.
Right, and if your battery goes dead, you can still pedal it. So it's definitely the best of both worlds. So let us know down in the comment section, do you have one? Which one are you looking at if you are looking to get one? If you're looking to get the Turboant Ranger R1, there is a link down below. Please use that link because it's going to let Turboant know that you found the bicycle through us. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor, hit that like button down below. It really does help grow the channel, but it also lets us know what type of videos you guys are looking to see. And while you're down there, make sure you hit the subscribe button.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time,
Happy camping!